morning, we want to ask the question what the attacks yesterday tells us and where the weaknesses lie and what is urgently needed to keep Kenya secure in this digital age. And to help me with this conversation in studio with me is Mark Obar, that is an ICT expert. We do understand yesterday from that story that we've seen that the hackers targeted key government websites, making them inaccessible for some time, of course, by altering their visual appearance and content, and of course, replacing legitimate information with unauthorized material. Karibu sana to studio, Mark. Good morning.
Morning.
All right. I want us to go right in. It's not the first time, of course, that we are seeing such incidences of attacks on government websites. And I do not want to be, a party pooper and say that, I certainly wish that it's the last time. But why does it keep happening if it's not the first time? We keep on seeing this recurring over and over again.
Okay, so particularly when it comes to yesterday's attack on a key government website, that was probably a premeditated one. There are various kinds of attacks by classification. There are opportunistic attacks, there are premeditated attacks. So the yesterday's one can be classified as a premeditated one, meaning that the vulnerability had already been established before, and therefore there is a malicious kind of an operation that was going on towards that, and so they were waiting for the right opportunity to carry out that attacks, that kind of an attack. So what happens is that across the world today, various individuals, groups, organizations, or even governments have established cyber, what we can refer to as offensive and defensive cyber activities or operations. So in offensive terms is to ensure that you are able to carry out a specific activity with the aim of either informing somebody or destroying. So in this case, this looked to be some sort of an activism kind of an attack. So in a digital world, we refer to it as hacktivism, which is meant to propagate a certain message or to let you know that, hey, if you continue, we are here and we are probably in your systems, and if you continue doing this, then probably we will take appropriate actions to ensure that you are well put to your place where you should, or you are well informed that we have the capabilities of destroying you or causing chaos or causing panic to the public. Yeah, so reviewing what happened yesterday, that was called a redirecting attack. So the attack primarily, it exploited maybe I'll do the technical terms and then explain them in the simple way. So to carry out such an attack, there are three layers that could have been exploited. The first layer is looking for the vulnerabilities within the websites or within the web servers or the specific web servers or web content. So in that case, it can be done on the codes, the various codes, or the plugins, failure or vulnerability within the plugins, within the codes, or within even the web server itself through direct access. And then there is another thing that is called SQL injection. So SQL injection is primarily having a penetration that enters to the database, and then it puts a code, a malicious code within the database to extensively direct people who come to those websites to a different website. And then the third option for access in such a case is probably by stealing of loggings through something known as social engineering or phishing, which I don't think is the case. So in this case, probably they exploited the opportunity of the vulnerability of the codes or the plugging systems of the website that are available. Alternatively, they could have used SQL injection for that particular attack. Now, once this is done, then these guys did not really change anything up on the website, the government websites. What you are seeing on TV there is a redirect. It means that it's redirecting people to a specific website. That is why when the government terminated it, automatically their websites came back because there was no complete alteration on the interface of their websites. What that means is that A redirect is meant to direct you to a particular website, which for the purposes of either seeing that information, what is going on. In this case, I think it's an activism thing because you could see the kind of messaging that they were having, probably referring to Hitler, and then you can make a connection to what they were trying to do based on the fact that just recently, Kenya being a good friend of Israel, Kenya recently facilitated the transfer of some Palestinians, Israelis transfer of Palestinians through Kenya to South Africa.
Right.
And so you can connect the dots and see that probably they were just trying to send a message. In other cases, it would be maybe for ransomware or for ransom demands in which they would inject a ransomware into the system and then until you pay or steal data and all that. So, but on a shorter scale of things, it's important for you to understand that that was just a redirect. They didn't actually disconfigure the entire interface of the websites affected.
And I see you're drawing comparison from, or drawing, your statement from what was happening, how, the flight from Kenya went to, South Africa.
Yeah.
But now, would you say that this attack might have come from, people who are not Kenyans, who are not in Kenya? Because, for a very long time, we've heard of the Mulot boys, for instance, of course, who are tied to more financial fraud.